Hi, my name is John Shaney. I am a second year graduate student in career and technical education at Ferris State University. Today I want to do a little tutorial on Excel about multiple choice tests. I want to show how to do a distractor analysis and to look at validity using Excel. Did a little PowerPoint here to just basically give a little background of what we'll be doing here. So what is a distractor? Here's your typical multiple choice question. What professional sports league are the Detroit Lions members of? National Football League, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, National Basketball Association. We all know the answer to this. Well, at least most of us probably do. The National Football League is the correct answer. Now, your other choices here, they're your distractors. And the definition of a distractor is an incorrect choice among multiple choice answers on a test. So, pretty basic. What is a distractor analysis? Distractor analysis is our way for test makers to analyze the validity of a multiple choice test. What is needed for a distractor analysis? You need some raw data. Raw data is basically a big set of whoever took the test and what answers they picked. Raw data set in the case of a multiple choice test is simply a compiled list of answers given in a test. These sets of data are usually broken down by test question, the correct answer, and show the answers all students chose. What's done with the raw data? To begin, each student's answers are compared to what the correct answer is. You got to score it. If a student gets the answer correct, the data collector takes note of which incorrect choice the student made and records them to analyze later. Now, this is if you're doing it by hand. You still kind of do the same thing with Excel, but obviously you skip some steps and save yourself a lot of time. If the test is broken into sections, the data collector will then compile the percentage of correct answers for each question, as well as the section per individual student, as well as the entire group. Once all the sections and questions are broken down, the data collector converts these to a percentage of correct answers for each question and section for each student and the entire group of test takers. Basically, you just grade the whole thing, average out every question, all that stuff. Once the percentage is figured out, an average percent of correct answers is compiled for each student and the entire group of test takers by both question and section. This creates both the student's percentage grade as well as the average percentage grade of the entire group by question section and the test as a whole. Once the percentages are compiled, the data analyzer will once again use the list of answers to see which students got which answer wrong and which distractor was chosen as their incorrect answer. The data collector will then be able to analyze the test as a whole to determine which questions and sections scored which percent and which distractors were chosen the most. Why is this useful? If a test maker determines the students incorrectly answered a question, they are able to see which distractor was chosen and how many incorrect answers were caused by choosing each particular distractor. If the test maker determines a common distractor was chosen on a particular question, like say there's 20 people and 16 people got it wrong, and they all picked the same distractor, then the test maker can decide whether or not that distractor may be too difficult, and in my opinion it would be. The test work maker can then either choose to reword the distractor or eliminate it completely with a replacement. What else can the distractor analysis accomplish? It can make it so the test maker will be able to identify if a low score is caused by a lack of understanding or retention, or if it is caused by a poorly written question, both of which are very common. The difficulty of the test as a whole can also be observed because it's graded for a large group of students. The teacher could use this to see where students are falling behind based on the answers for their test. I mean, what sections they weren't doing well on. Also, the teacher may see if there's a lot of students getting the same questions wrong. Maybe that the curriculum being used has got some holes in it and maybe should be evaluated. So my personal definition of a poor multiple choice distractor is this. If one distractor accounts for a disproportionate number of the incorrect answers chosen, the distractor is deceiving and therefore it's invalid. So here we're going to talk about a failing percentage on test or a question. And what does that signal? For a For one particular question, the distractors are too difficult and preventing a test taker from identifying the correct answer. The question is faulty to begin with. The test takers do not understand the material. The teacher instructor should either eliminate the question or evaluate the curriculum used to teach the material. The students could very well know what is being asked of them, but because the question isn't written correctly, that's actually what's causing the students to get it wrong, not that they don't know it. It's just a poorly worded question with poor distractors. For the test as a whole, the test may be too difficult. The students are struggling to learn and retain the material. The test questions are poorly written. The teacher instruction has either poor curriculum or cannot convey the importance of the material. So the teacher would obviously want to look at their curriculum and try to understand why the students are getting poor grades. And it can also identify which students are falling behind and may need additional time to learn the material. Like if you see, since it's done in a section or by question, even if you see there's one particular area that a student's struggling in, by doing one of these, you can identify that and possibly, offer the student some tutoring or have a little peer tutoring, just or maybe spend a little time after class. All kinds of options. So what's all this mean? Using distractor analysis to help determine validity are imperative to making excellent multiple choice tests, and that's something that we need to strive to do because standardized tests are so often multiple choice that you want to try to avoid bias. And as we all have heard in the educational field, that standardized tests can be racially biased by doing, or all kinds of things. But by doing these, you can try to eliminate that as much as possible. So how are these analysis done? They can be done by hand using simple arithmetic to determine sums and means, a lot of averaging, that kind of stuff. But like I said, who has time for that to do it by hand? It's of my opinion that you should use Excel. That's why I use it in great big letters up there. The best way to complete a distractors analysis is to use Excel by using some very basic commands. This job will require significantly less time, even if you have to enter the raw data into a worksheet yourself. So this is basically what the tutorial is going to be. This tutorial will be used an example of raw data. An example of raw data produced from a mathematics test. I want to thank Dr. Manley from Ferris State University for allowing me to use this example of raw data. This test was administered to 26 students and contained 35 questions. The test was separated into 10 sections, and for this, there's really no need to have the actual test. I don't even have it. It's basically, I'm just showing the process of making the analysis. Obviously, if you do this yourself, you're going to have your test, so you'll be able to look at it. But just for the sake of showing everyone how to do this, it's not important that I have it. So let's get started on the tutorial here. Get out of here. Alright, so first thing I want to do is go and show you what what it looks like, the final. Alright, so what you got to go, this section right here, what you see here, all these 2s and 4s and 1s and 3s, this is just the raw data. This is the students, as you see, it's student A, student B, student C. It goes down the line. Now, okay, so this first section right here, add, subtract, multiply, and divide whole numbers. That's the question. That's question 1, or excuse me, that's section 1, and it has 4 questions. The key is right here that these are the correct answers. So if you go down, student A, the answer was 2. We picked 2. So and then it just goes all the way over, and just shows all the grades for each student from the test they took. Now this next section here is what it does is, for every answer the student gets correct, you type in a formula in Excel, which I'll show you here in a few minutes. 1 signifies a correct answer, and 0 is I got it wrong. So what that allows you to do is come over here and right here. So for each section, student A got 4 right in the first section, 2 right, 4, 1, and this is the like I said, it's a 10 section test with 35 questions. And then it comes over here all the way out here, and it figures out a percentage for each question the person got. It's not in order, but you'll do that later. So in this next section down here is the actual first distractor analysis. It's not in order though for the first one. So what it does is here is if the person got it correct, the cell right here stays empty. If it's incorrect, the analysis lets you know which one they chose for the wrong answer. And then once again, it keeps the whole percentages and stuff. And down here at the bottom, that'll be the one that's in order. And as you can see, I've already completed this. I just wanted to let you guys get a look at what it looks like as a whole. So I'll just zoom it out here. No, probably not that far, but as you can see, it's a pretty large set of numbers and stuff. Put that back to where it's usable. Okay, so we're gonna close this out here, and then I'm gonna show you how to do this. Windows 8, I don't like that. Don't save, whatever. Okay, so here we go. Here's what we just looked at, but it's blank. As you can see, it's the same raw data and whatnot and all that. I made a little script here, so instead of having to type in all these formulas, I can just copy and paste them, save a little time, because this is going to be a kind of lengthy tutorial to begin with, so I wanted to save a little time here. So okay, here we go. We'll get going on it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do when you start this is you want to score the test. So here's your first formula right here. Now what this is telling Excel to do is if B10 is equal to B9, and if you go back to this Excel file, you'll see that, we'll go back up to the top, B10, which is right there, which is student A's answer. Now if this is not equal, so here's 9, it's 2, that's the answer, here's 10, which is student A, and which is 2, the answer. So what that will do is that's what tells the next series of data to be a 1 for correct, 0 for incorrect. So that's basically what that formula does. And we'll go back down to where we put that in, and I believe it was B45. So what you want to do is just copy that. Obviously I can copy it, you'll have to type it in for your particular test. So go down to B45 here, which is right here, and you just copy, or I'm sorry, paste that formula in, hit enter. It's going to give you the first one. Now with this particular formula, you can actually drag it. So I want to drag it to AJ70, which will fill it in for the whole for the entire test. So make sure you keep it in the right cells. So fill it down and then fill it to the right. Okay, so you can see now all through here it's got all the 1s and 0s and all that stuff. So from there, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to sum up the for each student. So we'll go back and get the formula here, and there's 10 sections, so we're going to do it by section here. So the first one right here, you type this formula into AK45, which is student A's first section answer, or for first section result. So you just copy that. I'll just copy that. Go over here, put it up here in the bar, paste it, hit enter, and that's the first score. So with this formula again too, you can just drag it down. So drag it down to the end of the scoring, fill it down. Okay, that's section 1. So we got to repeat this 9 times, so that's why I said I wanted to get these formulas. typed out. In fact, this is the second time I recorded this because I screwed up the first time I was copying and pasting stuff. Try not to do that again this time because I wasted a half hour. Alright, so now we're going to go for section 2. Right here. So we'll go up there into the paste formula, hit enter, drag it down, and fill it. In fact, 1 second here. It looks like I messed up the first one. Dragged it down. See, one too many cells on the first one here. So let me redo that real quick. Go back in there, paste that same formula again. Still on the clipboard. Okay, so once again, apologize for that. Pull it straight down, and like I didn't do, make sure you don't go outside the cells. Fill it down. Okay, so now we are going to go to section 3. Once again, copy that formula. Back over to our Excel file. Paste that, hit enter. Pull her down. Oops. Alright, I'll go to the next section, which will be section 4. And like I said, this is the only real time-consuming part of this for this tutorial, and it'll probably be your time-consuming part when you actually do it yourself. Copy that again. This is section 4. Alright, so go up there, enter the formula. Down. Go to the next one. Alright, so now we're going to be on 5. And like I said, I do apologize, but thought it was kind of important to include this. And while I'm doing this, obviously your test is not going to be the same as this one. The great thing about Excel is if you know how to use it, you can use these formulas to fit how you need them to work. So if you know how to use Excel, you can set up your own format, but this, what it's doing is providing with the formulas, and you can change them to what you need them to be. Alright, go to the next one here. Alright, this is student 8. And now this formula is only for the first student. But the Excel allows you to drag it down to do it for the rest. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of this Windows 8 with this thing continuously popping up on me. I apologize for that. Hit enter, drag it down, pull it down. I know there's a way to do it with the mouse. I don't know. I'm one of those people that always just uses the menus. So I guess a creature of habit. Okay, and now we'll do scan down here. Do 7. Section 7. Once again, just paste it up there. Hit the enter key. Drag it down. Make sure when you're dragging down, though, that you get the actual top one in there, too, because that's actually what has the formula. So if you don't include the one that's already completed, Excel won't know there's a formula there, so it won't be able to drag anything down. Alright, we'll go down to 8. Just about done with this part, like I said. Like I said, there's 10 sections on this, so just about done with this part. And then drag it down. 2 more here. Section 9. Just paste that, hit the enter, and drag her down. Okay, so pull that down, fill it down. Okay, now we're going to be on to the last one here. Once again, it's kind of convenient when you have these all already typed out and you just have to copy and paste them. Sometimes it can get a little tedious typing these things in, but it's still better than extracting things through paper. Oops, what did I do there? Alright, so last one here. So hit the enter, pull it down, fill it up. Alright, so now we have all the sections done. Now this next choice here is, as you move over, this is going to be, I can put this up here, see that's going to be the total. So for that part, what we want to do is we got to sum the scores, which is basically just adding up the amount everyone scored. So in order to figure out a percentage, so copy that again, and what we're going to do here is go back here, go to the top section where it says total 35, go to the one under that. Paste that formula, and as you can see, it selects, it's telling it to add up all this stuff. Once again, this is another formula you can drag down, or I don't know why I keep doing that. Okay, so drag that all the way down. Alright, so after that, then we fill it down. Now we're ready to get the percent for each student, each section. So we're going to go to that next cell right there. I can zoom in a little bit just so you can see where it says add, subtract, multiply, and divide. But like I said, this really isn't that important that you be able to read what this says. All you need to know is that's a section. We need to percentage this. Like I said, because this isn't going to be your test. You're going to have your own raw data, your own set of questions, but this is just going to show you how you can do this. So, okay, now we're going to go back here. Now we need to create a percentage. Once again, we're going to have to copy some formulas. So, first of all, we're going to copy that one. Alright, head over here back to Excel. Alright, so now that you got that, okay, so that's giving his first section score. See, there's 4 questions, he got 4 right, so he got 100%. And now you can copy, this is another one you can copy down, so grab it, pull it down, once again, fill it down. Alright, this has already got the percentage down here, so if you go down here, it'll show you. It's just got the average. It was already set up, so it's pretty simple Excel stuff there. So most of you who are using Excel already know how to do that, so I don't need to go into it. Okay, so once again, we're going to go right down the line and keep figuring this, copy and pasting the formulas over to the Excel file. Alright. Once again, it's another 10 of them. Let's drag it all over here so you guys can see it a little better. Head back to Excel here. This is basically the part that's not very fun. Doesn't it's basically just clerical stuff that takes a little time to do, but it is definitely something. When you see the end product, you're going to see how much it can help you. Oops. Copy that one. Back over to Excel. Up here, paste it again. Hit the Enter key. Drag her down. Head back over to my copied formulas. Let's paste it. Enter key. Drag it down. You can obviously set your decimal point to whatever you want to let it round. You don't have to let it go out to the whole thing. It's a rounded is more than enough to give the information you'll need. Okay, next one. Well, I don't know if any of you out there who are using Windows 8 encounter that same problem with that coming popping up on you all the time, but I find it extremely annoying. Copy it, head back to your Word, your Excel file. And I guess I probably could have had this part completely done already. In fact, I did already, but I just wanted to show you what exactly goes into doing it. Done with here. Just a couple more of these, and then we'll get down to the fun stuff. Okay. Down again. To the next one, which is BC. Down. Got 2 more to do here, and then we will be done with this stuff. Alrighty. I really think nowadays that the Excel is a very important, very useful tool. I'm sure a lot of you out there know how to use it, but before I started this program, I got to be honest, I wasn't really that familiar with it. I mean, I knew how to do some basic stuff, but not to the point of some of the stuff Dr. Manley showed us you could do, has shown us that you can do. Just incredible things you can do on Excel. It's a very cool program once you learn how to use it. Whoops. Copied a little too much there. Okay, Enter key. Alright, so now we got the percentage scores for all of them. Now we want to do an average. This one, and this cell right here, this section, you're going to want to do it for all of them. So go over back here to the Word. Tell me how to do that next one. Alright, so here's the formula. You want to average it for all of them, then pull it down again. It's another one you can pull down. So that is a copy. Go back over to Excel. Alright, so as you can see, whoops. now we have the test scored completely. So here we go. Here's the percentages. This is the student's final grades right here. This is each student's, what they did on each section. It just goes all the way down for all 26 students. So, all right, now that we're done with that, we're going to go down to this next one, and we're going to do our first distractor analysis. Okay, so what it did is it copied all the stuff from up here for the sections and brought it down here, which is nice. It was set up in a way that it can do that. That's what the absolute value and all that stuff is. It just brings it back down for you on its own. Alright, so we'll go back up here. Now, this is when we're going to do our first distractor analysis, but this is unsorted. So what we want to do is go into cell B81 and type this. Now, once again, this is telling Excel to go back up where I showed you the B10 and the B9. What it basically saying is if B10 is equal to B9, which is a correct answer, then it leaves it blank. Now, if it's incorrect, it will give the answer. This is what the little quotation marks are. It'll tell what the person selected. So if they picked 3 and the answer is 2, these 2 quotation marks right there will provide for that. So we got to go to B81. Put that right there. Paste that, and actually I think I just copied the formula, so I'll go down to that again. Copy. Alright, so I'll go down to Excel. Paste that. Hit enter. Okay, don't be confused that it is entered. It's just that person got that one right. So what we want to do is bring that to AJ106, and that's just the data from the students. So there. Now you're just gonna fill it down, then fill it to the right. And now this is a pretty good view of this. Let me zoom it out here a little bit. So this is what the first distractor analysis is going to look like. It's kind of cool. Like you can see, I mean, it gets you a good visual on, where the problems are. I mean, obviously you can tell by this one that distractor 3 is probably a problem because everyone who got it wrong chose 3. But I'll go into the explanation of it a little later. So go back down here. And okay, now that we have that done, and I basically already told you that. So now what you want to do is you've got the unsorted distractor analysis done. Now we're going to want to sort it. So now stage 2, which is the second box, the third box. First one's raw data. Second one is where we scored it. The third one is where the unsorted analysis is. So we have to highlight the entire stage, 2 rows, which is headings, everything. So here, I'll demonstrate that for you. So what we want to do here is we want to go up and from 75A and drag it all the way and get everything in here. Everything with numbers at least. Okay, then once you do that, okay, you got that all labeled. So the next thing you want to do is you want to right click and copy. And now on the next part you're going to have to do a special paste. So now we got to put our cursor on A113, which is on the final. This is where it's sorted, on the sorted one. Okay, so we'll put it right there. Now, like I said, you're going to want to do a paste special. I'll show you. So you're going to want to go on Pay Special and check values in number format. So let's go back over here. Right click. Oops. Right click. Now we got to go to Space Pay Special. Go back down to Pay Special all the way down at the bottom. And values and numbers. Sure that's what I said. Yep. I just wanted to make sure. Double check that. Okay. Now hit OK. Now what you'll see down here. Don't hit anything yet, but what you'll see down here is it's changed stuff to zeros and ones and stuff, so you're not done yet. You got to get it over back to the distractor numbers. So the next step is to highlight the new rows of data, which is all the stuff that showed up in the next one. Now you just want the rows of data on that. So go here is here's just the data right here. Alright. Drag that all the way down here. And it looks like I messed up something. Let me undo that paste. I think I didn't do something correct. So do this again. Okay. Go back down here. Go back and do that step over. So click on A113. Back to paste special. Values and number format. Okay, let's see what I did wrong there. There we go. I must have just not had the formula pulled into the right spot. Apologize for that, but I think you all can see what I did wrong there. It's nice about the undo button. So then after you do the space, the pay special, you gotta go back down in here. Now you gotta highlight the new rows of data, rows 119 to 144. That's on mine. It'd be different on yours. So go back to this. So 119 over to over to 144. Bring that down. Okay. Now from there, what you're going to want to do is you're going to click on data, which is editing. And I apologize here because I'm going to find it. One second here. Just apologize for that. I had a little bit of a brain issue there. Okay, so we're gonna go on data. Click on data here, and from data, what we're gonna do is you are going to go to sort, which is this is the one you're gonna want to click on. So click on sort. Now we want to sort it by column BF. Let me cancel that there, and let's add this stuff in here. Forgot about that stuff. You want the answers and all that stuff too. So bring that back down. Once again, you're just going to want to go click on sort. And BF is the one we're looking for. Okay. And we want it from largest to smallest, I believe. Yes, that's what we want. Largest to smallest. Now just hit OK. Now what it does there is it puts everything in order here for you. And apologize for that again. Like I said, sometimes looking at these small numbers and stuff, you copy the wrong thing, and I copied one too many rows. So let's get back to where we were. Now you want to sort this by B and F, and it was 119 through 144. Like I said, this is going to change on your test, so the numbers I'm saying, the cell numbers, are going to mean nothing to you. It's basically just how you sort the things. So what we're going to do is BF. Want to go values, largest to smallest, and then you hit OK. And there we go. Go down here, and you'll see that it put each student in order. We got here's your test scores all the way down, and looks like the high score in the class was an 88% on this test. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just describe, what these numbers mean, what it all means. So first of all, let's go look at the distractors. So we'll start over here. Okay, so here's the, here, get that. So it's not, okay, now you go down this list. Okay, here's question. Sorry, I keep pointing with my finger. So here's question 1, and obviously a lot of people got it wrong, and all the people that got it wrong chose distractor 3. That's a problem. Distractor 3 must be very similar to the actual answer, which is 2, and it's confused a lot of people. So that distractor 3 definitely needs to be looked at. Next question. It's fine. I mean, both people that got it wrong chose number 2, but since only 2 people got it wrong, and there's really nothing to worry about on that one. Same for the next one. The next one, question 4. Let's see, we got a lot of 4s wrong, but there's not a lot of wrong answers. So I mean, although 5 of the 26 picked 4, I wouldn't consider that a problem. This isn't a problem. The next one. This one, distractor 1 might need to be looked at. I think that would be possibly a problem. Not so much with the 3 and the 4, but you got a lot of 1s there. You got a lot of wrong answers, but right now I'm just talking strictly distractors. I'm not talking about question. This one, pretty scattered with the distractors. Same for this one. Maybe a couple too many 4s. A lot of 2s in this one. A lot of 2s in this one. And so on. I mean, you can just look down all these, and you can see which ones are sticking out. Like this one, a lot of 4s, a lot of 1s on this one, and that tells you that a lot of people are picking a very common distractor. When you see people picking a lot of the same distractor, there's a good chance that distractor might be wrong, or when they were taught the stuff, the 2 terms are very similar, and it wasn't clear to them what the difference is. Now, I'm going to go over and just talk about the test. Now, that's what the distractors are. Now, there's some serious problems here with, we'll go back up here so you can see the class averages on the tests. For the first section, they're only scoring 77.9, which isn't bad. That's actually pretty well for an average on a test. the next one is you're going to see where things start struggling. You see classes only averaging 57, 49. I mean, they're averaging failing grades pretty much for each section all the way through until you get to this section right here, which is section 7, which was the zoom it in here a little bit so we can see it. Which was the convert cubic millimeters to cubic inches, cubic meters to cubic feet, and vice versa. And then once again, 61, that's not terrible. As far as I'm concerned, that would probably be doable. But this test, from running this analysis, to me has some substantial problems if we're going strictly based on 100 to 90 A, and anything lower than a 60 is an F. Like I said, I mean the class average on the test was 56. I mean the class averaged a failing grade. Like I said, we'll go back down here to the actual analysis when it's in order, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, only 9 out of the 26 kids passed the test, going with a traditional grading scale. So there is some obvious problems with this test. Either the material has not been understood at all, the distractors on some of the questions are very bad distractors because, for example, the first question, everyone chose the distractor 3, and almost 3/4 of the class got it wrong. So what I would suggest for this test, if this was my test and I was a teacher and I wrote this and I looked at it, I mean, I would definitely have to look at the whole test and see what I did. If it was the test that was written poorly, or if I really had that poor of scores, if my students were that lacking on this test, at that point, I would have to look at my curriculum and see what exactly I'm missing, what the kids are missing, if I'm not teaching it in a way that they can understand, or maybe it's time to maybe look at a different way to teach it. Maybe have turn it more into a student-led kind of thing. But for this section, for this teacher who created this test, they have to recognize there's some serious problems here, and they have to get to the problem, because obviously with these grades right here, this information, obviously with all the math, with the converting metric to standard to English measurements, it's something they will have to do as they go through math. And with these kind of grades, these kids are not going to get to the next level knowing what they're doing. So they're not going to be able to transfer, because as we can see, they don't have much to transfer to begin with. So I apologize for that little hiccup there at the end where I dragged the things down, but I think you guys all get the point of what I was doing there, and you could see when I corrected it that it's not, everything's good to go. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like. Like I said, yours is going to look different based on your test, but what you needed to see was the formulas and how you use those formulas. And then you can fit them to where you need them. I mean, your test might be only 20 questions long in 2 sections, so you'll have to change the equations to the according what you need for your particular test. But like I said, I hope this might be able to help someone. Like I said, I apologize for that hiccup at the end. For some reason, I was using when I actually made and designed this tutorial, I was using Office 2010, and I actually had a free thing of Snagit, and 30 days ran out, so I had to put it on my wife's computer, which is running Windows 8 and the newest Office, so buttons are a little different. Looks a little different on the screen, so I apologize for that. But like I said, I hope you guys have found this useful. Once again, I want to thank Dr. Manley for allowing me to use this, and hope you guys like this.